Hi, welcome to albertohartley.com. I hope you're having a great Tuesday morning. I'm doing something a little different this year, videotaping from my office. And so I think you can look, there's paper underneath there. I just saw that. So anyway, I'm trying something new, trying to get a little more videos out to you on a regular basis. So today, we're talking about anticipation versus participation. And I know that's not just literary, but there's an actual concept that I want to go over with you when it comes to negotiations, also with individuals as you move forward in interacting with them on a regular basis. So the concept is that we have a preset of music that we always bring to every conversation, and that is through our past experiences, our pain, suffering, whatever. We tend to want people to anticipate in a conversation. And what that means is we come to somebody we don't know, a transaction we don't know, and we start to immediately assume, based on past experiences, that there are predictable actions that are going to take place anytime we want something. So a lot of times I see this with people who negotiate where they say, well, I knew this was going to happen, or I know what they were going to say, or, well, you're anticipating them at that point. You're not participating. And participating is really a kind of a scary thing, because you're really concerned about the consequences of your actions. And so instead of waiting for the response, because people are afraid of rejection, or they're afraid of the reality of what's going to happen to them, they start to anticipate something. And if you're a negative person, you anticipate negative things. If you're a positive person, you can anticipate delusional things. If you're really detached, or you're just really emotional, you may anticipate an emotional response. So all these types of what I call preloaded CDs, because I'm from the 80s, and I remember getting this huge CD player where you put all your CDs in. Nobody now uses CDs, but they would automatically load it up, so you could hit random. You'd be working, and all of a sudden a CD would pop into place. So, and then you could learn the system, or learn the sequence, in other words, and you already know at that point that there's what's coming next. Now, this is a different concept when it comes to business, but it's the same idea. You go into a meeting, you're anticipating all these reactions. What that eliminates your ability to do is react, okay, and listen. So when you say something, if you're anticipating, there are times you don't even hear that person's response. That you already think you know what they're going to say, so you anticipate it. And that comes out of three areas, okay? Anticipation comes from fear, pain, or paralysis. Fear, pain, and paralysis. So the fear comes in the fact that you're just afraid of what the person's going to say, okay? The pain comes in the fact that you've had something happen in the past. You don't want that to happen again in the future. So you create a scenario that tries to maneuver people to where you're not going to get hurt. And paralysis is where you're afraid to do anything, so you just sit there. So you actually play the music that you already know, expecting different results, which is not going to happen. So what I'm going to challenge you with is to move forward with anticipating nothing and participating with everything. A perfect example of that. If you go into a negotiation and you ask a question, you have to really listen to the response. You can't assume what they're going to say, because that affects the way you ask the question. You can't assume what they're going to do, because that affects the way you react. So you have to make sure that you are not taking your preconceived or preloaded CD, if you can get that word image in your mind, into the negotiations, so that as you start to work with other people, you allow them to participate in the solution and participate in the process. If you give them the information you want and you give them the response that you demand, you're going to get what you give them. So this is a new concept we're dealing with, and the coaching for this week for you guys is to participate, not anticipate. I hope you're doing well, and looking forward to working with you on a regular basis. Give us some feedback on albertohartley.com or on Twitter @HartleyLaw. Thanks.